On this episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast, we continue Black Metal January with a black metal band. We'll talk about it in a bit. It's Black Death.
Uh-huh.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
We're two professional broadcasters. We like metal and we like to talk about it. And as we're recording this, it's January, and we're still doing Black Metal January. Although you pulled a little bit of a fast one on me. In the most interesting way possible. I think.
Because this is a band that I feel it needs to be talked. It doesn't get talked about hardly at all.
Categorically, not a black metal band, but it is a metal band, probably the first metal band made up entirely of African Americans. This is pretty much heavy metal. This is this is some Sabbath type stuff. This is some Judas Priest type stuff. This is some kick-ass heavy metal performed entirely by a band made of African Americans.
From Cleveland. They started in what, 75?
77. 77. The album we're listening to came out in
84.
That's right. And this was their first full length. They've been around for such a long time, but they hadn't recorded a full length album yet.
Indeed.
But I think it was also, the other thing is, I think that's weird to me now, because when a band can never today, a band might never have played a live show before they record their first full-length album, because it's a lot more affordable today.
Do you have an iPhone? Oh, yes, you have a top-notch studio in your hand.
Like it's much easier to record an album. Even going into an actual studio, not just like doing it full-on DIY. Going into an actual studio is a lot cheaper than it once was. And it's a lot quicker than it once was.
My band went into the studio back in 1994. Was it 94? Must have been. We went in for 2 days, and it cost like $2,000 or $3,000.
Yeah, which in today's money, that's how much you think?
In today's money, that's about $250,000.
Okay. Like yeah. You guys were loaded back then. Yeah. I don't know how much.
Yeah, we were.
I don't know. I don't know how much that is in today's money. I guess it's more.
Not that long.
It's not that much more. I mean, it's 25 years ago, 27 years ago. That's not nothing as far as inflation goes. That's not nothing. But it's so. Did you guys were you guys like up really late at night or anything like that? Like that recording process, was it more of a 9 to 5 sort of thing, because that's the hours the engineer was willing to work, or were you guys like up into the wee hours of the morning?
It was like 9 to 7, something like that, both days. And he wasn't willing to do a final mix, or have this to you in a week. And I was like, here, you take the shit now. Yeah, I mean, it was on Mylar tape.
Yep.
And then he did something really crazy we'd never seen done before. He burnt a CD.
Oh, yes.
You can burn a CD?
You mentioned that a few weeks ago.
$80 on top of
80 extra bucks. It'll get you one CD.
Yeah.
Here you go. Take this to the printers. You're not going to hire printers
no,
for a CD. But yeah, it's I think of the movie Once, which I mentioned a few weeks ago, that Glenn Hansard stars in, really into the soundtrack for, where part of the plot of that is him like gaining the confidence to actually record his personal material. Yeah, because he is a busker, and so he tends to play other people's stuff. He tends to play covers and that sort of thing, and doesn't really think anybody likes his music, and so he only plays that like late at night. When he thinks nobody's listening. And then he meets this woman who gives him the confidence to record his material. And he goes into the studio, and they pull like an all-nighter. Basically, they just hire the studio for 24 hours or whatever, and are just up in there and recording the entire time. And then at like 3 in the morning, not 3 in the at like 6 the next morning, the last thing that they do before they do the final mix is the engineer is like, all right, now we're going to do the car test. What the hell is a car test? Well, you've heard it through my nice studio speakers in here, and now we're going to hear it through my shitty car speakers and see what it sounds like.
Because that's who you're selling it to.
Yeah. So it has to, it has to sound good through a multitude of sound systems. And yeah, it's just that scene is in my head. That's a great scene too, because it starts off. This engineer is like, the band that he's gotten together to help him perform, because they're all recording live too. And the band that he's gotten together are like setting stuff up, and nobody seems to know what they're doing in a studio because they're all street performers.
Sure.
And the engineer's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, this is going to be a long day. And then they start performing the first song, and he's like, holy shit. Okay. And he actually starts paying attention and like doing his job.
Because he's thinking these guys are not musicians. They don't know what the hell they're doing.
Before that, he was just like, oh, God, what am I in for is a bunch of morons. And then he's like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
I should make this really good. Anyway, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Man, so I told you I finally got my son. I broke down and said, fine, you can get Fortnite.
I don't think you told me that.
Yeah. And the problem is that the PlayStation is attached to the main television in the house.
Yes.
And so, I mean, I don't want to break his spirit. I feel like I need to limit his time on.
Yeah.
He refers to it as, playing with the gang because his buddies are on there.
Yeah.
He's always playing Fortnite with all his little friends.
And they're in school, but right?
They're in class.
I haven't schooled. I don't know what the hell the education situation has been like.
You don't have any kids
since like March,
right? The kids are all in school. So like during the day, I mean, I'm working all day.
Yeah.
Except for when holy shit, great episode today
of the Expanse. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, let me tell you what happens.
No. Don't you dare.
Okay.
But
yeah, so he's been doing that, and I've been watching because we got Disney Plus.
The Mandalorian.
I've been watching that, yes. Haven't caught up on it because, for whatever reason, I guess because Fortnite. Yeah. But also like at night when I just want to sit and watch something when maybe I'm having a beer or whatever. Yeah. The World Through the Eyes of Jeff Goldblum.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that last week.
Yeah, so I've been catching up on that. He's an odd duck.
He's a weird dude.
He's a weird dude.
He's a weird dude, but he's the kind of weird that people seem to find sexy.
I guess
it's a bizarre. I mean, people probably find him sexy almost exclusively for the shirtless scene in Jurassic Park. Well, he's not even shirtless. He just has his shirt open. He just has a button-up shirt wide open, and he's not even in that great of shape. But it's just so unnecessarily sexual.
You know what? It was almost 30 years ago, that movie.
Yeah. God damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't alive when Jurassic Park came out.
Right.
But Jurassic Park was also a massive part of my childhood.
Of course.
I mean, because I was obsessed with dinosaurs when I was a kid. And
Me
so
too. I had these things called books.
Yeah,
I had.
I also had a lot of dinosaur books. I used to read a lot. I used to be a voracious reader, and then I stopped.
Actually, what you need to do is, because what's helped me read a lot, is go out, find a woman, impregnate her, keep the child at your house until it gets to be, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and give them Fortnite.
Yeah.
And then you'll start reading more.
I suppose. Well,
that's what I did.
My problem is I have so many screens.
Yeah. You can just go. Yeah, we have one. We have one TV. We have two TVs downstairs. We have one that's basically a VCR in Max's room. And no, we just have the one TV.
I see.
And you are a single dude who has lots of screens.
I have a lot of screens. Yeah. I have 2 screens in here. I have a laptop. I have my television out in the living room. I have a giant television I never use in my bedroom that just sits on the floor. So brain not working. So something that I also texted to you earlier this week was the new Liquid Tension Experiment.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Liquid Tension Experiment is an American progressive metal supergroup made up of 3 current and or former Dream Theater members and also Tony Levin from King Crimson. They put out a new track. It's fucking just brain melting. It's awesome. It's cool shit. I was waiting with bated breath the whole time. I was like, Tony's playing a regular bass. What the hell is this shit?
Sometimes.
And then for
switches.
like the first like half of the song, he was playing a regular. I think it was a 5-string. And then about halfway through, there it is. There's the Chapman stick. Such a weird instrument that sounds so cool.
It does. Because you have to tap it. Tap it or slide it.
Basically. Yeah. Because there's so many goddamn strings. And also because it has no body. So you don't really have a way to hold it in order to get the proper like leverage to strum it with a pick.
Sure. Or pluck it with
or pluck it with your fingers. That kind of, requires holding it against your body or resting it on a leg or something like that.
But you hold this thing like it's a dulcimer.
Yeah, you just kind of let it hang, really. Yeah. And he's just tapping away on that thing, and it sounds awesome. I got a lot of writing done over the weekend.
Did you? Writing what?
D&D lore stuff. Just because I wanna host an in-person game once people are vaccinated.
Once you can do the in-person thing?
There's
going to be no more mask mandate in Minot. You heard that, right?
I did hear that.
Right.
Which I don't think it's a good idea. I think people are getting antsy with the vaccine on the horizon.
Sure.
And I
feel
like
should have waited until more people got vaccinated.
Yeah. I think because the statewide one got lifted and now the citywide one for us is lifted, and it's like, I feel like we might be headed for a surge before people get their vaccines.
Remember, this started with 1 case in Ward County.
Yeah, for North Dakota, we were the location for the first case in the state.
Yeah,
and I'm sure a lot of other places, like I'm sure that spread here, but a lot of the cases in other places probably came from people coming in from out of state to those cities, like in Fargo and Bismarck. But
almost 1,500 people dead.
Yeah.
And for North Dakota, that's half the population.
For North Dakota, it's a lot. Things are a lot better here than they once were. We used to be the worst. Now we're, I think, squarely in the middle of the pack.
Sure.
And we're our current active number of cases is pretty low, even for a state with our population. So we're doing okay now, but I feel like people are going to start getting careless because that's what happened in fucking July. That's what happened in July and into August is people were like, oh, COVID numbers are so low. Let's go out and do the thing again.
Let's go make out with random strangers.
Yeah. And then like I remember thinking in late June, like, wow, this shit's almost over. Oh, you fucking dumbass.
You were wrong.
I was incredibly wrong. And here we are today. But yeah, I just feel like maybe that's a bad idea. But in any case, when people are vaccinated, I want to get this started. So I've been doing a lot of writing. What I want to do is a very like player driven sort of West Marches style game of like, you guys show up and tell me what your characters want to do. Like have goals in your backstory. And I'll make a doc of like, here's the things that, here's the places you can be from and the things that are in those places. And you guys start here. Everybody have a reason why you want to go to X place or do X thing. And you guys can, as a group, decide what to go and pursue, and I'll build shit around that because I tend to overplan stuff when I'm doing homebrew campaigns. I overplan things, and then when players are being players and don't do the things that I have planned for them and go and do the other thing because that seems more fun, I get pissed.
Sure.
And I get upset because it's like, this is not what I had in mind. I didn't plan for this shit. Why don't you just go over here, do this thing?
Why don't you do the thing I want you to do?
And it's like, that's shitty. I don't think that's how the game is supposed to be played. And like there are people who are perfectly willing to go with like a sort of railroads type experience, but like I tend to over plan things, and then if people are going with what I have planned, I run out of steam and I run out of ideas and I run out of a willingness to
live.
Yes, but I run out of a willingness to keep the campaign going because all the ideas are coming from me. And I feel like I'm not getting or I'm not using input from the players. And I think that's a very important part.
So it's like fishing.
Yeah.
Oh, man, they bit. All right, cool. Fight. Get into the boat. Oh, no, it's this slimy fucking thing I have in the boat.
Yeah, well, now what do I do with this?
Gross.
Nasty. I don't like picking. I always feel kind of inadequate when I go fishing because it's like I'll catch a fish. And then as it's flopping around, I will reach for like a glove in order to pick it up.
Oh, sure, of course.
Because I'm like my dad is
just bare hands.
Yeah, my dad's been fishing his entire life. Also, his hands are basically made of hardened leather at this point. But like I whenever I catch a walleye, especially, they've got fucking nasty ass spines on their back.
They do.
I mean, if you pick them up the right way, they lay flat down and they're they don't have any real muscles attached to them, so they're not going to like flex and suddenly extend. But it's like I'm careful when I pick them up, just because I don't want to get stuck. I don't have I feel like I don't have a very high pain tolerance anyway. I don't know. I think I don't have a good handle on what my pain tolerance actually is. Just because I don't put myself in very many painful situations. But I always feel a little inadequate when I'm catching fish. But anyway, what else did I have written? Oh, I ordered a wall flag of the cover of Mirror Reaper.
Oh, nice!
Just a big wide wall flag of the album cover.
Where are you going to put that?
Probably on one of the walls of the living room. I've got some open space out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because I like wall flags. I think they're neat.
And that Mirror Reaper cover is pretty cool.
It's awesome. I already have a Converge one that I've had for quite some time.
Why isn't that up? Is that a Jane Doe one or?
No, that's the reissue cover of When Forever Comes Crashing.
Okay.
That's the one that's in the living room.
Oh, is it up?
Above the couch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's the one that's above the couch. We haven't listened to that album together.
Right.
That was the album before Jane Doe. Sure. The original cover looks a little bit different, but I like the reissue cover a bit better. It's one of the few Converge album covers that's not a Jake Bannon painting.
Really?
Because almost all of their album covers are stuff that he's done, where it's what he tends to do is like collage in black and white and then adds watercolor on top of it. He's an interesting artist. I like his stuff. But anyway,
I've now officially, because I didn't know this. I found out today. I felt bad because I got reading glasses, like a fistful of reading glasses. For Christmas.
A fistful of reading glasses.
Just a bunch of pairs of reading glasses.
A new Western.
Yeah,
a few reading glasses more.
I'm going to need you to apologize to my mule.
I'm going to need you to apologize to my book.
So, I've now broken all of them.
Oh, no.
That was Christmas.
How have you broken all of them?
Well, by putting them on my face, because apparently I have a fat head now.
You have a big old face.
And this I found out today. We bought them at the Goodwill.
Oh, okay.
Okay. They were 90
cents. It's not
cents.
that bad then.
Yeah, so I understand. So now I'm thinking, I'm going to buy myself some new readers, or the fact that I said it today kind of works out because my family never knows what to get me for my birthday.
Okay.
And that's next week.
So there you go.
So that's probably what they're going to name me, some non-breakable readers.
There you go. Absolutely.
That's what I want.
Speaking of the Goodwill, I showed you last week my new shelf that I have out in the kitchen.
I did.
Put all my
pretty awesome
D&D stuff on there. That shelf, if you look really closely at it, nobody but me will notice that the shelves are not exactly aligned.
Oh,
because I got it at Menards, and you can buy these kind of modular shelves where you get to choose. They have the frames, or the structures have all kinds of different lengths of plank that you use as the actual shelf.
Sure.
That match up with the structure that you're buying. And you can choose from different colors and types of wood.
Sure, it's like a build your own shelving unit.
Yeah. And the thing about the particular one that I bought is the shelves themselves are wider than the frame. So they kind of go past the edge, and there's no guides built into it anywhere to make sure that they are all perfectly aligned and symmetrical. And so I just kind of eyeballed it because I was already pissed off, because also the boards are flat boards. They don't have any holes pre-drilled into them.
Sure.
So I had to go back to, I could have gone back to Menards, but I decided to go to Home Depot instead. And I bought a cord power drill because also cordless power drills are fucking ludicrously expensive.
They're ludicrously expensive, and I hate them.
Yeah.
I hate them because it never, ceases to be true. You put a battery on it and it's dead.
Yeah, it's dead 2 seconds later. I feel like that is a scheme to get you to buy more batteries.
Yeah, it's irritating.
So you always have one to swap out. And I feel like their battery memory or whatever that batteries can get is awful.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I feel like it's the worst of any batteries you can get.
Yeah. I know my Black & Decker that I have right now, its battery memory is like at 17%.
Yeah, it's really annoying. When I was building sets for the summer theater a few years ago, there was a bank of like 70 batteries. They all had Milwaukee drills, and so they just had a shitload of batteries that were just permanently on the charger, which is bad for the battery life, but it's like, we have so many batteries that it's not worth trying to manage any of them.
Just leave them all on the fucking charger.
Just leave them on the charger, and there's always going to be one when you need it.
You know what I wish, and it doesn't seem to be this way, that if you plug into the drill itself, it should be able to run while charging the battery at the same time. Like your cell phone.
Yeah.
I wish that was the case, but it doesn't seem to ever be the case.
No. The thing that pissed me off when I went to Home Depot is you cannot buy, you cannot buy just a drill, a battery, and the battery charger.
Really?
If you either have to buy it separately, or if you want the battery charger to come included. The battery charger is as expensive as the drill, by the way.
Yeah.
For pretty much every model that I looked at.
It's silly.
If you... The smallest package I could buy also came with an impact driver, which I don't need.
No,
I don't need a fucking impact driver. But yeah, it just pissed me off, and now I'm starting to understand. Like, I've gotten to the age now where, when I was going through this, I was just like, I kind of get why my dad has tools as like Christmas gifts and shit like that.
Sure,
because it's just like it's their fucking. It's the sort of thing where it's fine to get as a gift, but you walk into the store and you look at the price tag and you go, oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
So it's nice to put it on your Christmas list because it takes the pressure off of you to buy the stupid thing.
By the way, if you want, next time I come over, I can bring my circular saw. We can take care of that shelf issue.
They're not that far misaligned.
But you notice.
It's not that bad.
All right.
Especially with stuff on it. It's not that bad. I also, speaking of tools and shit, there's I
want to open a store called that.
Tools and Shit.
Yeah.
It's where you get all your tools and most of your shit. But there is a wire basket that came with my desk where it's like meant to be sort of a cable management system.
Sure.
And I was like, I'm going to put this thing on because I was resting my legs up against the wall. And I went to put my legs down, and I caught one of the wires down there.
Oh, that's fun.
And nearly yanked something off my desk. And so I was like, I'm gonna put this thing on here and see what I can do. I spent like 20 minutes futzing around with the wrong fucking screw. Because it looked like it was the same screw that was used in all the rest of the pieces of this desk.
Yeah.
It looked like it was the exact same screw. And I was confused because it didn't have a pointed tip.
Oh.
But they have pre-drilled holes in them. So I was just like, oh, that's fine. And I didn't remember that, no, the correct screw has a tip on it. I just was holding the complete wrong bag of extra spare parts that I had collected when I was putting together my whole new desk setup.
You didn't strip anything, did you?
I stripped one of the pre-drilled holes before I found the correct bag of screws and put it in. By then, I was just really fucking fuming. Sure. Which is another thing where I'm just like starting to understand my dad more and more the older I get. I mean, that's what is it? The Wonder Years lyric. Growing up means watching my heroes turn human in front of me. Just getting, the older you get, the more you understand why your parents do certain things.
Damn it, I'm eating pretzels. Yeah.
Anyway, shall we talk about the album?
I think we should.
So this is the self-titled debut album, even though it was a decade into their career.
Sure.
Album from Black Death. And as we mentioned, not really a black metal band in the sense of black metal, the genre, but a metal band made up entirely of black people, of African Americans. And they were, as far as anyone has ever gathered, probably the first.
Yeah, probably the first all a black heavy metal band.
Yeah, which was, and to this day, it's a very rare thing.
Sure.
Just black people in metal in general. It's not a very common thing. It's kind of got a reputation, I think, for being sort of a white person's genre, which is a problem in and of itself.
There's this woman on TikTok, African-American woman, plays guitar. And it's just, I'm going to have to, I can't remember her name. I follow her. I'm going to have to find her.
It's amazing.
It's just freaking-tastic.
Yeah. And it's like I don't know why exactly it is that heavy metal became so inundated with white people. I don't know why that is. I mean, rock and roll has its roots in the blues. Heavy metal has its roots in blues rock.
Right.
Which I think there was plenty, like, you think blues rock, would it be incorrect to say that like Jimi Hendrix was sort of a part of that movement? Sort of the blues rock kind of is, or that's more of progressive sort of acid rock type stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely acid rock and Jimi Hendrix.
But like rock and roll in the 70s, for example.
In the 50s.
From the 50s up and through the 70s, lots of African Americans in rock and roll. But then heavy metal, becomes an outgrowth and suddenly it's all white folk.
Yeah.
Why? Like, I don't know why that happened. And I think today there is a reputation among certain genres for being kind of, obviously National Socialist black metal.
Yeah.
For being sort of racially exclusive. But I think there's a lot of metal bands that try their best to be inclusive to anybody. But I think some people maybe just get turned off from the community in general, thinking that, heavy metal is for white people or something like that. And it saddens me that is the vibe that the community apparently continues to give off. But then there's also a decent amount of bands that have black members in them.
I saw an interview with, I was one of the internet hard rock sort of interview channels,
publications.
Yeah, it's sort of like a discount Loudwire.
Okay, less Slipknot.
Yeah, with less Slipknot. They did an interview with Sicky Spacek.
Oh yeah, I saw that on the.
Did you see the interview?
I didn't see the interview, no, but I saw in the personnel list on their Wikipedia page. I was just like, okay, that's funny.
Yeah. And you can tell
after the actress Sissy Spacek,
right? Yes, who played in Coal Miner's Daughter, and
more famously would be
I suppose the Stephen King.
What's
Carrie.
the name of it? Carrie. There we go.
Yeah,
and also what's the Brendan Fraser movie where he grew up in the bunker? She's in that one.
Oh right, she plays the mom or whatever, doesn't she?
Yeah. Anyway,
so the interview. I can't tell if he's really drunk in the interview or maybe he's just like that. It was crazy. You could see the girl who was interviewing him. She was putting up a brave front, but she's like, this guy's going to go apeshit any moment. And
sort of a Brent Hines kind of situation.
Kind of. She's laughing along with him because he's funny. He's a funny dude. And he's screaming into the microphone in different times and
just being a big personality.
Just being a huge personality.
I mean, that's just that used to be metal frontmen. I think.
Yeah.
It was just like being almost a character.
A caricature,
of like that. I feel like in interviews, and I think there was a certain era too, of course, you know, late 70s into the 80s, shock rock and stuff like that. Sure. Of people, frontmen playing vocalists. Of course, you've got, you know, the Alice Cooper that you would see on stage, and then there's the real Alice Cooper who is, you know, seemingly a very put together and professional sort of person.
Very religious dude.
Yeah. Kind of soft spoken sort of guy. But then there's the Alice Cooper that's on stage.
Dude, you ever listen to a show we play on our
He sounds station? Like he's ready to fall asleep.
He does.
Every single night.
He's very somnambulant.
It's just like, all right. And so these guys, here's a story about the time I met the guys that are performing. And this next song that you're about to hear. And
one time me and Klaus Mina were at a bar together, and I wasn't drinking already, and Klaus.
And that's an episode. And that's an episode of what is it? I don't even remember the name of the show. Something with Alice Cooper.
Weekend Nights. Weekend Nights with Alice Cooper.
Yeah, he's just seems like a very chilled out dude. He's also an old guy.
Well,
he's old, so it's like he just ran out of energy.
His real name is Vincent Fournier. Or Fournier, I think.
But that I think that used to be a thing with just rock bands is as a front man, you had to have kind of a character.
Yeah.
You couldn't just be yourself on stage.
I'm going to be up and sing for you.
For the cameras.
Yeah.
And I think grunge kind of killed that.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's something that, and I saw, what's his name on the inner tubes does the punk rock MBA.
I don't know the guy's name.
He was talking about this like yesterday about the fact he noticed that rock and roll has become not fun. Like,
it's become kind of a somber, sort of serious sort of thing.
Everybody's trying to do the hardest they can do, the blackest they can do, the most brutal they can do.
Yeah.
You don't really have the guys around anymore. It's, put out a party jam.
Yeah. They're just trying to have fun. I mean, you have that, but they're considered novelty.
Sure. Novelty. But yeah,
you've got guys like the people in Necrogoblicon or what's the pirate band? Ailstorm. Like those guys don't sit down and go, all right, we need to make the most insanely complicated progressive metal album that's ever been made.
Right.
Or we need to make the most brutal death metal album ever. No, they sit down and go, all right, time to write some more fun metal pirate shanties. Also, I don't know how the whole 2021 being the year of the sea shanty thing got started. I don't know
where. Again, TikTok.
It's TikTok. Okay. Yeah. They added like a whole bunch of sea shanties.
Yeah.
As like things people could dance to or whatever.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, how it works? You can tie. I don't know how to make. I made one TikTok video.
You have. There's always a backing track and people.
Well, yeah. It's one guy.
Sometimes people make it basically the way you would make a Vine.
And you stitch them. You can stitch it together where somebody's singing and then you can sing in harmony with them, and then another person can stitch that video onto theirs.
I kind of miss Vine.
Vine was fun.
I don't think people valued Vine highly enough.
No, that's why it's gone.
I tend to. I sometimes about once a month, late at night, I will watch a Vine compilation, and then I watch another one, and another one, and another one. And for some reason, I find very short, weird little videos to be incredibly funny.
What was the predecessor to Vine? What was the one that happened that went out of business?
I don't know.
Oh, shit. I had it on my phone.
I didn't know there was a predecessor to Vine.
Yeah.
That was short form videos.
Yep.
I didn't know that existed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Figure out what that is.
Now I'm just thinking of Quibi and how horribly that flopped.
Well, yeah, and somebody bought it. They bought Quibi. Somebody's going to put it on. Somebody purchased Quibi for like $8.
Stop trying. We're getting a little too far off topic here. So
Black Death.
Where did this album come into your life?
Came into my life after. Actually, Big Mike and I discovered this together.
Okay.
So it was at the building we work in now. I can't remember what happened. I typed something in, and this came up, and then I listened to the first track of this album.
Yeah,
which is fantastic. The Big Mike, you gotta listen to this.
Get a load of this stuff. This is great.
This is great.
I mean, this is like fucking like just headbanging classic heavy metal. This is like, there's nothing particularly like groundbreaking or mind-boggling going on here. It's just kick-ass heavy metal.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's a really good blues track. There's one, you hear it, and it what's the name of the song? It sounds like Metallica's Nothing Else Matters is going to play.
Is it When Tears Run Red?
Yes, When Tears Run Red.
See, what? Because I'm not super familiar with Metallica, because I'm a youngin'. I'm a dirty millennial who doesn't know his Metallica. When I was listening to When Tears Run Red, I was thinking of Black Sabbath. I was thinking of like the especially earlier in this last year, the Sabbath album that we listened to.
Their debut album.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. Very blues rocky, very moody, almost kind of proto doom metal type stuff.
Right.
Lots of long forlorn melodies and just really fuzzy, warm. I think the guitar on that particular song probably sounds the best that it does on the album. The guitar production on a lot of this, and again, this is, you know, mid 80s stuff from a band that probably didn't have a ton of money to make an album. A lot of the guitar production sounds a little compressed almost. It's a little low in the mix compared to the vocals, which are the vocals are very prominent. They're also really cool. But yeah, just an insane amount of range.
Yeah.
He's just doing a lot, which I am impressed by. There's a lot going on with the vocals.
I don't think you're with me.
He's trying.
Yeah.
He's doing all kinds of cool stuff. But yeah, When Tears Run Red, I thought was a neat track.
That is a great track.
There's a lot of stuff going on here. There are a couple songs that really do kind of fit more in with first wave black metal type stuff, or at the very like songs that are not dissimilar to what we listened to a couple weeks ago with Venom.
Sure.
I wouldn't listen to a Venom track and then listen to something from Black Death and go like, those aren't even close to the same. I'd be like, no, these are pretty similar.
I would see those touring together.
And it's like Venom, of course, is considered by some people not to be black metal, like
proto black metal.
Yeah, first wave black metal kind of did develop into its own thing with Merciful Fate and Celtic Frost and stuff like that. It sort of developed more distinctly into its own thing a little bit later on. But this certainly, I think, fits in. If you can call categorically Venom black metal, then you could call this that as well.
Sure.
Because it sounds as similar. It's just that Venom also had the added the added bit of coining the name of the genre, and so they get remembered for that. But
by the way, if you ever get the chance to watch the documentary about the artist, I'm losing his name.
Previously known as Prince?
No. Third time Prince has come up today for some crazy reason. No, the crazy artist who designed like Alien.
H.R. Giger.
Yeah, H.R. Giger. If you ever get a chance to watch the movie about the documentary about
Are you talking about the guy that mowed his lawn?
Talking about Thomas Anderson. Yeah, Thomas Anderson? No.
Paul W.S. Anderson.
No.
Different from Paul Thomas Anderson, who would have been the more appropriate reference to make, because Paul W.S. Anderson makes shit movies and Paul Thomas Anderson makes really good movies.
Really fun movies, yeah. No, Tom G. Warrior. Thomas Gabriel.
Who was from
Celtic Frost.
Yeah, Celtic Frost.
Yeah.
Hey, you said it right. Yeah, fuck you. You can say it correctly, bastard.
So no, because they were on the Celtics. All three of them played baseball. Yep. Played baseball, the Boston Celtics, the famous baseball team. But yeah, no, Thomas G. Warrior mows his lawn. Yeah, does his taxes for him.
Mowed the lawn for H.R. Giger.
The laundry, that's what he's there for. He loves Giger.
Where was H.R. Giger living at the time that Paul G. Warrior was mowing his lawn? Did you say Paul? Did I say Paul G. Warrior?
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti. You know,
Paul Giamatti is doing
the lead singer of Celtic Frost,
serving up cheese and crackers for H.R. Giger.
Yeah. I imagine it was like L.A. or something, right?
I think Bern. I think.
Oh, it was in Bern. So it's Switzerland.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. So because Celtic Frost is
Swiss.
Oh, I forgot they're Swiss.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought they were British. I think I'm getting them confused with Cradle of Filth.
Perhaps.
I think I'm getting them confused because I also think we listened to those two bands very close together.
Perhaps.
I think it was, 1 week, then another week, then the week after when you brought your next album was. But anyway, what was I thinking of in the middle of that at some point? I don't recall. I lost it. Do you think this album slaps?
Yeah, it slaps.
I would say it slaps as well. This is a rollicking good time. This is a headbanging good time. And you know what? The vocalist even calls out at the beginning of the first song that he thinks you headbangers are gonna like this. Yeah. And you know what? I did.
I did as well.
Sicky was right. I liked it.
I have a song about a hooker in here.
Yeah, because that's sort of the thing that's maybe mildly problematic these days, but like it's the sort of I don't know who actually that's problematic for, because I think you don't hear that in rock and roll anymore.
Right.
You used to hear songs like that in rock and roll, and then at some point that became not okay to make songs about that. I don't know when that, probably the 90s.
Which is weird. I would think they would go back to that now that there's a big push for sex workers to become decriminalized.
Yeah, but I guess that was hair metal, I guess, was the heyday of songs like that, and then hair metal sort of died, and that like sex and drugs sort of became no longer the
that's
subject matter.
Fun. Yeah,
it stopped being the subject matter for rock and metal songs. And if it was the subject matter, you had to sound kind of sad and depressed about it. Mm-hmm. It couldn't be fun anymore. It had to be like a serious thing because people moved on from weed and cocaine to fucking heroin.
Yeah, so that's there you get Alice in Chains.
Shit wasn't fun anymore. Alice in Chains and Nirvana, and so like people were on heroin and they weren't having fun. Back when people were on cocaine, God damn it, it was fun.
Cocaine is great, kids.
You heard it here first, children. Don't snort cocaine.
Yeah, don't. I mean,
or if you are going, give me some first.
Yeah, I mean, I figure that's when people stop trusting authority. It's when they hear all their lives how drugs are terrible, they're bad,
and then they find out what the CIA was doing.
Yeah, well, or they do the drugs and they go, "Wow, they told me this is bad. This got me high.
This is great.
This is fun."
In any case,
I feel like that was the wrong approach.
Yeah. Also, with certain drugs, it's like this is fun and also not that harmful. Like with weed, not really very harmful.
Sure.
But then there are other drugs where it's like, this is fun. And also it will ruin your life.
Yeah, it will destroy you.
So don't do them.
Absolutely. Heroin, cocaine, things like that.
will destroy your life.
They will destroy you. That's why I think the ad campaigns are wrong. I think the ad campaigns need to say, look, we know it's fun.
We understand this is great. We understand and will make you feel good.
Right. We understand you feel like shit.
This will turn all of your bad thoughts into good thoughts, Dewey. You don't want it.
No, I think I kind of do.
I'm pretty sure I want
it. Yeah.
We're taking Viagra, Dewey. It gives you a boner. I don't think I want any of that, Sam. Did you not hear what I said, Dewey?
What's the band you want with this doo-wop group?
I don't remember I don't remember the name. I just remember the movie.
I haven't seen it.
Dewey Cox, the Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, which I remember. Also, we were talking about Justified last week. The guy who plays the dad, the guy who plays the dad in Dewey Cox. Dewey's father, who's like the wrong kid died.
Yeah,
is also the guy who plays Raylan's dad in Justified. And Arlo is a massive piece of shit.
Really?
Which creates a lot of very interesting situations in that show between him and his dad, because his dad is like an entirely unapologetic lifelong criminal, and Raylan is a deputy U.S. Marshal.
Sure.
But in any case, we've gone far afield once again, but that's what we do here. We're here to just have fun and hang out. Mm-hmm. We're not a serious podcast. So what is, I was going to look around for a score. I left it blank because I was like, I'm going to look for that later. And then I didn't find it. So I have no idea how well this album is liked or loved by people. I don't know. I don't know if it matters. This is cool.
I feel like it's influenced some.
Probably.
I feel like it's been an influence.
I hope it has. I don't know what people think about this album. I know what I think, and I think this was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
What's your favorite song?
My favorite song, I think the opening track is possibly my favorite song, just because of just the way, just how dramatic he gets.
It grabs you.
Yeah,
it's a ear-catching performance. I put When Tears Run Red because
it's a great song. Man.
I like me some moody tracks.
Right.
And I thought there was a lot of cool melody to enjoy on that track. I thought it was neat.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna get to the end here. What medal are you giving this? What medal are you bestowing upon this? Like Maz Kanata to Chewbacca at the end of the film, The Rise of Skywalker, which came out around a little over a year ago, and that's really when things started going downhill.
for the movies, yeah. No.
And for everything else, Star Wars did COVID. Everyone, you heard it here first.
George Lucas invented COVID-19.
No, Kathleen Kennedy invented COVID-19.
Oh, right.
And then J.J. Abrams distributed it.
Sure. He directed it.
The disappointment people felt when they watched a new Star Wars film fomented into a virus.
That happened to me in the 90s.
In the late 90s?
Yeah.
Was it perhaps 1999?
Yeah.
Was there a cartoon frogman that perhaps gave you a virus?
Ugh.
Anyway, what medal are you giving this?
Because it's not necessarily my cup of tea, I'll give it a silver.
I'm with you on that. I'm perfectly willing to acknowledge that this is fun.
Yeah.
And this is great for what it is. It's cool for what it is. And this is, I think, an important album. As far as like, hey, there's not a lot of African Americans in black metal.
Right.
And this is fun. This isn't bad.
Metal. Yeah.
But it's also, heavy metal, I guess. I've fallen into it. Screw it. Fuck it. This is black metal. I don't care what anyone says. But black metal should be metal that is, dark and satanic and cold and echoey, or metal made by African Americans.
Yes.
It should be both. It's a blanket term for these two not necessarily mutually exclusive things.
I want to know what that would sound like. Like some real early 1990s like mayhem sounding
black metal made by African Americans.
Yeah.
Well, it sort of depends because it could just be African Americans just playing it as it sounds, or people could be. It depends on how much influence of other genres and cultures people put into it.
Sure.
Right? Because if it truly sounds like early 90s black metal, it's going to sound like early 90s black metal, no matter who's playing it.
I just think it would be an interesting...
Your skin color does not directly influence the way you play a guitar.
No, you're right. You are 100% correct about that. But I just feel like it would be an interesting situation given the proclivities of the early... second wave of black metal. If they say, okay, we're gonna
the political views that early 90s Norwegian black metal bands tended to have, and continue to have to this day.
I think that would be an interesting
dichotomy there.
Yeah,
that'd be neat to hear. I'm also giving this a silver, by the way.
Yep.
I said that. In any case. That's it for this week, for this week's discussion.
What do we do next week?
Next week, well, it's February. It's female February. So next week I'm going with, I think this is the first time we've done an album where the female. Yeah, it's Karen. It's the chick from The Boys. I can't remember the actress's name. They call her They call her the female. Her name is Kimiko in the show.
Yes.
I don't remember the actress's name. I remember her first name is Karen.
She's also in that damn...
she's in Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, yeah.
But the actress's name is Karen, and she's adorable.
Yes, she is.
But in any case...
it's scary.
Well, the character's scary.
Yeah.
The actress is adorable.
Mm-hmm.
We are, I guess, kind of... speaking of, because she's of Japanese heritage, we're talking about a experimental, sometimes doom metal, sometimes drone metal. Very much think of Sun.
Oh, really?
It's a Japanese band called Boris. They've actually had numerous split albums and EPs with Sun and with other like drone metal bands like Merzbow and stuff like that. Next week we're talking about Amplifier Worship. Which came out in 99, I think, which is a sort of doom sludge, avant-garde, sort of dark ambient, heavy sort of thing. They're an experimental music group that makes weird stuff. How about that?
All right. I'm down with that.
Wata, I don't know exactly how her name is. I think that's her stage name. Mm-hmm. They're only known by first names or stage names. Mm-hmm. She started doing vocals more recently in the band's career, but this is one of their biggest albums, so I figured we should probably talk about that.
Amplifier Worship from
1999.
Okay.
So we'll get into Female February the next time we talk.
All right.
Till you hear from us then, thank you very much for listening to this episode. I was about to do my radio sign off. I'm just on autopilot, apparently.
I got your forecast before I go.
Yeah. My radio sign off, by the way, is stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned. Your forecast is coming up.
Don't take no shit from nobody.
Don't take no shit from anyone. No, thank you very much for listening. And until you hear from us again, we're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We post links to new episodes there and not much else. Don't expect too much. And you can also find us on your podcast apps, the podcast app on iOS, as well as the podcast source on Android, which is Libsyn's sort of deal. And we're also on Libsyn, their streaming service. However it is you're listening, you can continue to listen to us on that. So
until then, I'm Kale.
So until next time, I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
Congratulations.